Um, Hi, everyone. Thank you once again. We really appreciate you all taking time out of your busy day to join us in this webinar. Um, just want to mention a few things before we really get started today. This webinar, as you know, is being recorded. So we'll send out that recording as well as all the slides that you'll be seeing today, along with the demonstration videos within them, as well as the Q&A portion. We're going to save that towards the end, but any relevant Q&A information that'll be sent out as well. So just kind of speaking along the Q&A, feel free to enter any questions you have down that Q&A chat. Feel free to put them in throughout the duration of the webinar. We are going to kind of save answering those to the end, but feel free if you see anything interesting, have any questions of what you're seeing on the screen, feel free to put that in, so you don't lose track of that or anything like that. And next, I just want to really introduce the topic today. As you see on the screen here, there are a lot of common construction issues that we all face. And today we're going to show and talk to you about how using our technology is really a great way to help solve a lot of these problems. So without further ado, I'll introduce the team, starting with myself. My name is Eric Jansen. I'm an industry specialist here. We also have Jennifer Leacock. She's going to be talking to you a little bit today. She's a product manager at Red Team, wealth of knowledge as well. And then we have two great speakers along with us today. We have Michael Wright, our founder and chief strategy officer, as well as one of my close colleagues, Cynthia Gill, also an industry specialist. She's going to be running through a lot of the product today. But you have a great wealth of knowledge here. I'm going to be talking to you and hopefully you learn a lot. So now I'm just going to turn it over to Michael.
All right, great. Thanks, Eric. Thanks for that introduction. And from me, many, many thanks to all of you who have taken time out of your day to spend with us in this webinar. We do understand that many of you are on a journey to find practical construction technology solutions to the challenges that your respective construction firms face, and we want to be helpful wherever that journey takes you. So for your time with us today, we're committed to you getting value from this discussion. As Eric said, my name is Michael Wright. I'm a commercial general contractor, and gosh, every time I say this, I feel older and older. I've been in commercial construction for nearly 30 years at this point. And as Eric mentioned, I'm also the original founder of Red Team Software. My role today for this webinar is to set some context for today's discussion and demonstration. And I'm going to start with just a very brief introduction of Red Team Software. Cynthia, next slide. So Red Team's original offering as a company was software that is now known as Red Team Flex. And Red Team Flex was originally written by my team for my own construction business, which remains thriving today. Red Team Flex is Red Team's most comprehensive solution for mid to enterprise level contractors. Next slide. So Red Team currently has 3 core products. 2 of them have been acquired by us over the last few years, but all of them share a very similar origin story. All 3 of these platforms were developed by contractors to solve the day-to-day challenges faced by construction contractors. Why is that important? Well, it's important because we get it. We've been there. We wrote this software really to solve the challenges we had in running our own businesses. And I can assure you from my own personal hands-on experience that construction technology can improve your business. It impacts your teams by relieving a little bit of the incredible pressure that's on your project teams to manage things like schedules and safety and quality and cost. This is a tough business and every little bit helps. When you have the right tools for your team to take total control of your projects, the impact, I can assure you, is nothing short of transformational. It was for me, it was for my business, and really that's the thing that inspired us to launch Red Team. So really, Red Team's story is your story too. So welcome to the webinar. Next slide. So today we're going to be talking about some of the top challenges faced by commercial contractors. And we're going to demonstrate some of the capabilities of Red Team Flex. and specifically things that can solve some of the daily challenges of being in the construction business. So, and I'm sure you saw in our agenda, we made a list of our 5 top favorite challenges for construction. Number 1 is maintain effective communication with project owners. And even as I say that, it sounds almost cliche to be talking about communication, because of course, we communicate with lots of people day in and day out. But as goal-oriented contractors, we often make the mistake of thinking about communication and collaboration as just a means to an end. And for most of us, and for most of our projects, the end is a completed building. But let's face it, at the end of the day, when a building is complete, it's been inspected a lot, not just by us, but by our clients, sub-consultants, architects, engineers, building inspectors. At the end of the day, any given building that we finish, that I finish, is probably not that much different than any of the buildings that anyone on this webinar finishes. The reality is it's very hard to differentiate a construction company based upon the buildings that we ultimately produce. And a lot of that is a testament to how disciplined the industry is to make sure that when a building is designed, that it's safe and it meets the quality objectives of our clients, and that it's delivered according to plans and specs. So if we can't differentiate our businesses based on the end result, what should we be looking at? And for that reason, I often say to my team, the process is just as important as the end result. And so if we think about the process and we think about communication, how focused are we on the way we communicate with our clients? Do we give it the thought necessary to really orchestrate those experiences? What does an OAC meeting look like? What does a punch walk look like? What does commissioning look like? Are we really orchestrating an experience that's going to leave our clients with the feelings of confidence, feelings of appreciation, because ultimately that's how they're going to remember us. So the way we differentiate our construction business is really based upon the process and the feelings that our clients have interacting with us over the life of their projects. So number 2, making the most of real-time project information. So people often confuse real-time information with getting information in real time. And I can tell you those are 2 very different things. So let me talk about it just for a moment, what real-time information means within the context of Red Team. So for us, information is real time when it's available, when it's needed. And so when it's needed is where it's required in a particular workflow. If you're looking at a submittal item, statusing a submittal item, or you're updating your latest revised estimated cost at complete on your project, or you're finalizing a change order, do you have the information you need to finish that workflow right then and there without having to email anybody, reach out to anyone, have something sent to you or left in your voicemail or your email inbox? So having the information to get your work done when you're doing that work is critical, and we think of that as real-time information. Number 3, managing tasks from start to finish. And my business partner in my construction company has what I would say is an amazing memory. So good that he actually doesn't even use a calendar because he actually remembers his schedule on any given day. For me, I don't know what I'm doing after this webinar until I look at my calendar. And so for most of us, we're somewhere in between those 2 extremes. Construction tech definitely helps us keep track of all the little items that have to get done day in and day out for us to be properly executing our work. One of my favorite analogies for describing this is, and it's not construction related, but I think it draws a very good way to think about the challenge of managing the massive amount of information that we deal with day in and day out. So imagine planning a vacation for your family, sitting down with a travel agent, and they pull out a yellow pad and a pencil and they start taking notes. I think that I can say for me, and really for most of you, if you saw this happen in the world, I think you have a lot of wondering about whether or not that vacation is really going to go off as planned. But if you look at the average construction project, all of them are way more complicated than coordinating a family vacation. Yet there's still a lot of folks in our industry that think they can build anything with a yellow pad and a pencil. Indeed, some of them can, but most of us can't. So construction technology is definitely the solution for managing the myriad of tasks that have to be executed each day. Number 4, reduce risk of vendor contract noncompliance. What is contract noncompliance? It's really any time your vendors or suppliers aren't doing what you expected them to do. The best way to handle that is to give them written contracts. And I can't emphasize this enough. This is really core to what Red Team provides for your teams. Red Team produces all of the contract documents you need day in and day out to manage the work over the life of every project. Keep in mind, contracts don't have to be written. So the real benefit of having written contracts is, quite frankly, they're easier to remember. But unwritten contracts, oral contracts, those are enforceable in every court in the land. And so if you're not writing things down, you're putting your business at risk based on everyone's personal recollection and understanding of what that agreement is. So it's a best practice definitely to write down these agreements. And then finally, ensuring safety and quality. You can't get what you don't measure, and you can't measure what you can't see. And when I say you, I mean your company. And when I say see, I'm referring to the project record. So if you want to ensure safety and quality on your job sites, you have to measure those activities day in and day out. You have to know what types of collaborative interactions are going on your job site contemporaneously. Not having a platform that is easier to use than the defaults is an existential risk for your business. You know, make no mistake, your teams will go out to job sites, they'll use the devices they have, and they will figure out a way to collaborate, whether it's on text, chat, WhatsApp, voicemail, email. They're going to use whatever platform is easiest. The challenge is if they do that and they're picking the various point solutions that they use day in and day out, you don't really have control of that data. And more important, you don't have control of that metadata. And in reality, the uncontrolled data is probably more dangerous to your business than having no data. And so we're very strong advocates of making sure that all the activities on a job site are tracked day in and day out. Next slide. So the bottom line, construction technology works. It will improve your business. It'll transform your business. It'll transform the experience of your employees working in your business. It's a way to reduce your costs, control your risk, and increase the predictability of your project outcomes for all of your stakeholders. So with that, I'm going to step very gently off my soapbox and turn it over to Cynthia, who is really the star of today's show.
Thank you, Mike. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining. My name is Cynthia. I am, like Eric, an industry specialist for Red Team, and we're going to jump right into the first challenge, which is to cover maintaining effective communication with project owners. In the end, project owners generally get what they bargain for, as projects are closely scrutinized by multiple parties and inspectors in the building supply chain. It's the experience along the way, however, that sets contractors apart. Great contractors recognize that how their customers experience the entire building process is just as important as the end result. So how do we tackle the owner-contractor communication challenge? True collaboration requires honesty, transparency, and diligent reporting of project status. The ability to share information in real time is key to earning the trust and confidence of clients. So let's check some of the features that Red Team Flex offers it has in place, which make owner and GC communication easy. All right, every project in Red Team Flex has a customizable online plan room. You can share this plan room with clients. In here, you can get they can get a reel of all of the project photos, the latest and greatest plans and specs, including any markups that you have. We have really robust markup functionality inside of the drawings. As you can see, I posted a photo here and clouded something, and later on we get to talk about all of the features we have there. But here we also can share unlimited amount of files, and these are publicly accessible to your owners, and you can also set up folders to organize those files in the online plan room. All right, the next one we have is the performance overview report. So clients like having a standard report that gives them project information and everything they're looking for. So your company will be able to streamline the creation and sending of a report to your client right from within the project. And there's no need to build a report from scratch. And I can pause this right here. So I want to show you, Red Team has the ability for you to, from the project, generate a report that shows the status of all the items that you want to include on the report. So rather than going to like a separate module to build this standard one, you just select or deselect any checkboxes of information that you want to include or exclude, label the report, whatever you want to label it. This one, I labeled it customer status update, hence owner GC communication. And in here, it'll go through everything that I selected. Now, I was very thorough here, selecting a lot of checkboxes. You may not want to share all of this information, like the potential changes or the canceled ones, but kind of wanted to share everything that we can include on the report. All right. The next one we have is a indicated outcome report. We're all about simple out-of-the-box reports for effective communication. If you have open book projects with your clients, another report that we have is this one. This has many uses and was primarily designed as a tool for clients that have open book contracts and need the budget to tie into the schedule of values of the pay application. So this report really gives you insight on all of the budget cost codes that are tied to a schedule of value line item and lets you know which ones have not been tied to an SOV line item yet. So I can pause right here so you can kind of see the detail. So if you notice right here, we have quite a few line items on the budget that haven't been tied to a schedule of values line item of your pay application. And I can explain how that happens. As you know, sometimes you have a change order that you give out to a subcontractor that's outside of the scope inside of the budget. Happens all the time. And in here, you can kind of see, is that tied to a potential owner change order? Sometimes it is, like right here, we have some that are tied to a potential change order. So once it's approved, those will be incorporated into the pay app automatically. But you know that sometimes we have accounting coding invoices to cost codes that are not part of the budget, like a dumpster fees, or maybe portalets. And those are cost codes that maybe you should have had on your budget originally, and you just maybe forgot about it. You see that charge, you can look at this report and see, okay, well, I need to tie that and make it a part of my owner pay application line item here. So it gives you full visibility on that. But it has many uses. That's just 2 examples of how we can use this report. All right, our second challenge is about general contractors often having to communicate progress with other stakeholders. That includes owners, engineers, architects, and subcontractors. Without technology, it's really hard, kind of like that yellow notepad that Mike was referencing earlier. It's just really hard to streamline communication processes between these parties and reduce risk of misunderstanding and delays. Well, construction management software can provide real-time data and analytics, which can be used to monitor progress and make data-driven decisions about the project. So let's see some of the Red Team Flex features in action. All right, so Red Team has a comprehensive financial overview report inside of every project. And this one is one of our heavy hitters. Really, any stakeholder that is concerned about the financial situation of the project can find a lot of value on this report. Here in the very top of the report, we have project details like the project information and project manager, and the contract details, such as the original contract amount, any change orders that come up with the total modified contract. We also have the contract details, like that I mentioned before, but right here is the estimate at complete. AKA, some of us refer to this as the forecast to complete. And in this section, we can see a summary of all of our at-risk and contingency amounts as you apply human intuition to your budget. So like your forecast column, you can say, well, I don't need to spend $30,000 on this line item anymore, so you remove that. Or maybe you say, well, I was under budget here, I got to move some money around. So that's the human intuition I'm talking about. You can see all those changes here. We can see that this financial overview will be tracking your contract revenue. It will also track your costs rolled up to the type level, such as labor, material, subcontract, equipment, and other. And from there, we will have an overall total cost as well as a breakout of your profit and loss. You can also see that a lot of this information will be tracked throughout these columns, and it is real time. So because it is real time, we sometimes want to capture the data at a certain moment in time. So we have the ability to save snapshots so that we can historically go back to the project and see where it was before today. We also have the net working capital section, which is primarily tracking your over and under bill. So your net cash flow right here. And as you can see, I'm going to click on play on this, and we can scroll down and see that it also shows you your potential change orders, authorized change orders, and you can make it so that it shows the cost code details here as well. This is something you can email to your clients every week if they need to. In my case, I had to send it to my project executive every week as a project manager. But this keeps everybody that has interest in the financial status up to date. All right, so the performance overview, again, this is the same report builder you saw before to make the most out of the real-time project information and reporting. We can just select and deselect different checkboxes and title the report differently to show to whomever you're sharing this with. So we can title it something that makes sense for that person, that recipient. Okay, this is the work in progress report. It is also live, so the information you see on this page is in real time. This one is useful to view your overall company financial performance. If you have projects that require payment and performance bond, this is something that you can export right from here. So like you can print this out, export it, and send it to a bonding agent. And it's like three clicks, and then you can send it on to your bonding agent. I don't know, Mike, did you want to add anything to this one as well?
We actually have a number of different report formats. This is a very summary view. So for anyone looking at this who actually works on the WIP schedule, you know, there's a lot of columns that you may or may not want to see, and we have all those columns available.
Awesome, thanks. All right, so this is the dialogue tab. Imagine being able to digitize all of your company information and communication templates here. So like notices to proceed, I'll pause it right here. Notices to proceed, 48-hour notices, warranty letter requests. So you can access all of the templates of your company right from here, and then fill them out and send it on to the subcontractor as a communication point. Some of the out-of-the-box templates we have include like company letterheads, transmittals, emails, RFIs, and file sharing, which is one that I often used. But you can add as many as you want at no added cost. It's just one of the features that we offer here in the software. One of my favorite and most used features, though, of this page is the access that I had to the metadata. So if I said something to someone, I can see if they clicked on that email notification. Again, this is real time. They don't even have to have access to Red Team. Just me sending an email out from here, and let's say me sending it to Jennifer. She clicks on that, I can come back to this page and see that she viewed it. Not that we're going to call the sub and say, hey, I know you saw that 48-hour notice, but just in case you do, you can. You can also filter documents here by type, maybe filter documents by who you sent those to, and print out a report of those things right in here. All right, we have a company level dashboard, which will show important metrics across all of your projects. Depending on your user profile permissions, it is possible that you may or may not see some of the information cards you're seeing now. But right here, you can see all of your action items again across all of your projects. Aside from this dashboard, we also have project level dashboards. These, you can also change the layout as you see fit, remove any information cards that you don't want to see that are maybe applicable. But in general, it'll give you more detailed information about the projects and things that need your attention, like overdue submittals and RFIs, etc. All right, our third topic is about how to manage project tasks from start to finish. GCs are responsible for ensuring that projects are completed on time, within budget, and to the required quality standards. So without construction management software, providing tools for tracking progress on tasks is difficult. Construction management software allows users to store, organize, and share all project-related documents, such as plans and specs, subcontractor contracts, and invoices, all in one location, making them easily accessible to all the team members. I am very excited about the features we're about to show you. This one is the field lens that we have, which is part of Red Team. It is a mobile-first application that allows you to report on all of the open items on your job site. This example you're seeing on the screen right now is just me generating a report that goes over all of the open punch list items, RFIs, submittals, along with all the pictures, videos, and where those were pinned to the drawings. There is a lot of to this application. So if you haven't checked it out yet, there is a webinar series dedicated just to Field Lens to show you all of its functionality. Red Team Flex doesn't just have a Gantt schedule viewer to manage your project tasks from start to finish. You can build your project schedule from scratch here. You can also copy it from a different project. You can import it from a Microsoft Office or project file, export it back into that. One of the really nice features is that you can publish that schedule on your online plan room. So without username or passwords, your subcontractors or owners or any other stakeholder can come in here, look for activities, the same way you're seeing on the page, and find anything on the schedule or even download it if they need to. Okay, as we all know, GCs expect subcontractors to comply with their subcontract, properly maintaining the certificates of insurance that must remain in force from mobilization through project final completion. So the vendor compliance tracking is both vital and tedious, but must be managed if we want to remain in compliance with our owner contracts. Construction management software can help by tracking vendor compliance and surfacing compliance status embedded in key workflows, such as bid solicitation, when you're sending out a subcontract, and when you're approving those vendor invoices. So let's check that out. With Red Team, you have the ability to upload as many subcontract templates as you need to, and each subcontract template can have different credential requirements. And I'll pause it right here. So when I used Red Team, my company only required a W-9 for purchase orders. And on the other hand, if I wanted to send out a subcontract agreement, we had to have a automobile liability insurance up to date, workers' comp, W-9, and also we had a blanket agreement that we used. So as a PM, you can see right here everything that's up to date and things that are about to expire, etc. And when I say certificates of insurance, really in Red Team, we refer to this as credentials because it doesn't just mean COIs. It could also mean, like I said, blanket agreements or any other credentials that you need your subcontractors to have in place when they're working with your company. So that's one of the steps there into creating a subcontract agreement. This report can be pulled live at any moment in time on your project. And let me show you that again really quick. This is the buyout credential status log. So right here, you can see all of the subcontractors that you have on your project. And you can see all of the certificates of insurance that you require from them to have and see the expiration dates. So this is really neat and handy. You can pull it at any time. So I just went over this buyout credential report, which again, you can see from your project. But aside from this one, we also have one that is outside of the project. It's company-wide for all of your vendors. And in here, it's pretty neat because you can filter by, let's say you're having an issue with an electrician on the job site and you need to replace them ASAP. You can go to your vendors page in Red Team and filter by all of the electricians that your company has a relationship with. And then you can see which ones out of that list have the up-to-date credentials in place. So that way you can get them on the job site ASAP. Aside from that, you can also generate a report showing you all of the vendors that your company has a relationship with and all of the certificates of insurance and their status. All right. The platform was built around risk mitigation for your business. So naturally, we included checkpoints throughout to make sure your subcontractors are always in compliance for the duration of the subcontracts. So what you see here is someone in accounting ensuring that the subcontractor who submitted an invoice to you has the proper certificates of insurance before the invoice is approved and released for payment. Guys, am I talking too fast? Keep me in line.
I think you're
Good.
perfect.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, the final challenge we'll cover today is about safety and quality control. Ensuring safety and quality on the job site is essential to the success of every project. So contractors have no reason to expect what they don't inspect, and they cannot control what they cannot measure. I think we remember that from Mike's intro. And construction projects come with a variety of risks, including safety hazards, weather events, and delays caused by unexpected issues. Without construction management technology, general contractors have a hard time ensuring quality and safety. So construction management software can help general contractors by facilitating safety and quality observations, safety and quality checklists, punch lists, and requests for corrections, aka punch lists. These tools help ensure that projects are completed to the highest standards and to the highest standards of quality, and that any issues are identified and addressed in a timely and effective manner. So we're going to go over some of the Red Team Flex features that cover some of those items. First one up is the customizable checklist. So to ensure safety and quality, you can use checklists, which can be created company-wide for all of your projects, or they can be project-specific. These are primarily filled out by superintendents on the job site using the mobile app. You can create and manage checklists for safety, quality installation, punch lists, etc. And when filling these out, you do have the ability to attach photos, and generate punch list items right from the field, from your app, on any of the line items you're checking off. click on the plus sign menu there on that line, and you can submit a request for correction to your subcontractor. Right. Project managers can stay up to date with progress on the job site with an eye for safety and quality as they're reviewing the reports submitted by the superintendents. These are daily reports. So we capture weather, which companies were on the job site, and we can customize the information that you want to show here for your superintendents to report on. So this video just shows an example right here. Let me go back, of all the items that we can have, but depending on your company and your processes, you may want to add maybe more items for safety that you want your superintendent to report on. Maybe you want to remove some of these. You can customize it however you see fit. And then, you know, at the very bottom, we do have unlimited photos. Okay, so one thing that is beneficial is that, like, on the photos, you can be proactive and just look around to see if you see anyone without proper PPE. And you can require captions on the photos. And these are useful because sometimes the superintendents, they may just aimlessly take pictures, upload them just to say they took pictures. But if you require captions, they're more intentional about the photos they take. So that's pretty handy. So you can require those or not require those, entirely up to you. Okay, so using Field Lens, again, the superintendent can ensure safety and quality control on the job site by assigning tasks with related media to note any deficiency. If you notice, I actually did capture this video. It was rust on the pipe, and I said this was like perfect to post on Field Lens, and I pinned it to a spot on the drawing. Now what you see me doing is reporting on all of the open deficiencies on the job, aka again punch list items. And you can use this report to be sent to you daily as a project manager, or maybe you want to communicate this with a subcontractor to get like an updated list of deficiency items that need their attention weekly or probably daily till they complete those items. Okay, take advantage of the customizable templates again. You can store here all of the templates for your company, as I said before. Some of our clients have created correspondence templates, such as safety violation notices to subcontractors. And remember, you can always return to this page and check to see if they read the safety notices that you sent them. So you will be able to filter and see again how many notices you sent to that electrician that's always doing something that's not safe, or the plumber, or whatever the case. You can filter through and see that information. Okay, so next up, we do have Jennifer. She'll be talking about the product releases. I'll give it up to you, Jennifer.
Thanks, Cynthia. Yeah, I appreciate it. So that was all really good stuff. We figured we'd take a little bit of time here and just tell you a little bit about some recent releases for those of you who are users or maybe are interested in Flex. So we have had over the last several months quite a few updates to the product, and one of those is our new and improved cost estimate. If you are, like I said, a current user of Flex and you have not tried this yet, please take a look. You can go to any job that you have right now in request status, and you could toggle over and try our new cost estimate. We highly recommend it. It is much faster. It's a highly improved estimate experience, and we'd love for you to try it out. In addition to that, we've had some updates to our submittals, including the ability to add stamps to your submittals. This is not only on your side when you are reviewing your submittal items that you've received from your subs and vendors, but also on your recipient side. Anybody that you send submittals to for approval will also have the ability to add their own stamps. And on top of that, they can also add markups. You and the recipient as well can add markups to those files that are uploaded to your submittals. So a nice improvement there. In addition to that, on the plans and specs side, you have the ability to overlay and compare your drawings. So if you have not tried that out as well, go to any job where you have your plans and specs uploaded and you have the ability to choose drawings to compare against. You could compare a particular drawing and compare it against an older version of that same drawing, or you could choose any drawing in your set that you would like to go ahead and overlay and see the differences. It's a really great tool. In addition to that, the final one would be meeting minutes, an update to meeting minutes, specifically the ability to nest your project issues. So this is just another level of flexibility that gives you the option to kind of nest and layer different related issues on a project. And it just gives you more flexibility again in how you present those issues on a meeting. That's a great option you have as well. All of those releases and our notes about our recent releases can be found on our website. So check that out if you want any more information on that. But all of these fall right in line with the topics we're covering today, especially improving collaboration, communication, and real-time project information and reporting. So we'd love for you to try them out.
Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. I think we can move on to the next slide. Yeah, so just to kind of recap and pick up on a few announcements. Like I said in the beginning, we will send out this recording. So, no worries if you want to pass this on to anyone else or anyone else on your team you think should view this. We got you covered, as well as the presentation slides themselves embedded with all those videos and everything. Written version of the Q&A. I see we have a few questions in there. Like I mentioned, if you had any questions, you saw anything, even about those new releases that Jen just mentioned, feel free to pop a question in there. Also worth mentioning our events page. So we keep our events page very up to date. We come out with a lot of webinars, a lot of great topics, a lot of different events. Feel free to stop by and check out that page. And then kind of in the same vein, monthly newsletters. We talk a lot about our features, talk about upcoming things. And it's worth mentioning, a lot of those great features that Jen just mentioned, the stamping, improvement, meeting minutes, those come from client requests. So, I wish I had a magic wand to make them happen at an instant, but they take a little bit of time and they do come to fruition oftentimes. So it's great to stay up to date with those monthly newsletters. So, thank you once again. Just wanted to kind of bring an action item forth for existing existing Flex by Red Team users. We're inviting you all to do a G2 review. That's a review of our product. Once again, that's for existing users. If you're using Flex right now, go ahead and use this QR code. It works on the screen. Take your phone out, tap it, make sure it's in focus. That will bring you to the G2 review page. We'd love to hear your positive feedback. For those existing Flex users, we're offering a $50 gift card for some great G2 reviews. So like I said, on the screen, we'll leave that up. I'll talk for a few more seconds so you can take your phone out and get that review. And we really appreciate it. We love everyone's feedback, and it's great to hear from you all as well. Next QR code, if you're not a Flex user yet, but you saw some great things today or you want to learn more, once again, this QR code will also work on the screen. This will bring you to a page where you can sign up for a personalized demo. You can get more information. So this will kind of help us get in touch with you. We'd love to talk to you, love to show you a demo. Cynthia, some of our sales team, they'll be in touch with you all. So feel free to take your phone out, focus that QR code, and we'll get you signed up there. So thank you once again. I see some more questions trickling in, but once again, we really appreciate your time. I know everyone's schedule is super busy nowadays, but I'm going to start opening up the chat. I will kind of funnel these off to the wealth of knowledge that we have here in Cynthia, Mike, and Jen. But if you think of things, or as I'm talking, feel free to put that question in the chat. And I'm just gonna open it up here and start firing them off. So if you guys, want to hop in and say, I'll take that question, and you can tag team a few, but I'm just gonna go ahead and read them, and we'll go from there. So first question, can I set my preferences so the performance overview is always created the same way? Cynthia, Jen?
I'll take that one, sure. So yes, absolutely. You might have seen on the screen when Cynthia showed the customizable options that you have for that performance overview. She mentioned that you can name the report however you want, but you might have also noticed that there's a couple other options there. One is to arrange, but the other is, of course, that yes, we will save your preferences. So in fact, if you choose a specific naming kind of preference there, or if you arrange the items that are in that report a certain way, and the options that you select or deselect, those will save for the next time you want to run that report.
Yeah, that's great. And, we kind of talk about processes within our own construction companies. You're going to run that report again. Great to have that ability to save that. Next question. Can I run a summary of the financial overview for all of my projects?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. So the answer is yes, and we call it a work in progress schedule, and that WIP schedule will have the latest estimated cost at complete based upon the current financial overview. So it's a really helpful feature. Your accounting teams will love getting the information up to date, so they can produce their financial statements. And we do have, I believe, 3 variations of a WIP schedule, so you can look at what we provide, and we also provide an export so that if the formats that are default in the system don't meet your needs, we can export all the information, and you can reformat it in a spreadsheet.
Thank you. Yeah, and this kind of just jogged my mind too. I don't have the extensive knowledge of the product that these 3 do, but I know when you kind of fall into your Flex homepage, there is that high level dashboard that you have there, and there's a lot of maybe if you're a project executive, CFO, something like that, there's a lot of useful information that you can kind of have that 30,000 feet view, and that can include some financial items as well. So next question, can I start using Flex/FieldLens integration on an ongoing project?
I can take that one too. So definitely the answer is yes. So anybody who is here who is an existing Flex client, but maybe you're interested in FieldLens, one of the things to keep in mind is that yes, absolutely, you could start using that right away on an existing project. You don't need to wait for a new project to start. We have the ability for you to pick and choose which of your projects you want to link over and send to FieldLens. And you can send the project as well as the team members, the drawings, all of that information at any point whenever you're ready. So absolutely, that would be something if you're interested in it. Like Cynthia mentioned, we have a webinar series just on FieldLens if you want to check that out. But absolutely, if you decide you want to start using it right out of the box, you can.
Yeah, thanks, Jen. You kind of teed me up there for the FieldLens plug. But yeah, FieldLens is a great tool. We saw a lot of different sort of views of it. Great tool for the field. I'm a personal user in my past GC days. Great mobile app, taking pictures, videos, adding any sort of comments on things, marking up from your phone or tablet, building out reports, marking up drawings. Great tool to kind of use. And with the implementation, integration with Flex, now it's like a full, robust sort of project management command center, I call it. So great integration there. Next question, can I import a Microsoft project file into the Gantt schedule?
Yep, Cynthia actually mentioned that one. So yes, you definitely can. That is an option.
Great. Can I make a vendor credential project specific?
That's another yes. And I saw that question was actually asked a couple of times here. So yes, the answer is yes. You have the ability to configure your credentials to either be standard, non-project specific or project specific. Absolutely. Both options are available.
Great. I just want to make sure we're not getting any repeats. Is the subcontract restricted if the requirements are not met? I see you're nodding your head a little bit.
Yeah, so I can answer that too. Absolutely. Yes. You actually have the ability to set, based on your company's preferences, right? So you could actually restrict that subcontract from even being signature ready and sent out if all of your credential requirements are not satisfied. Or you could decide that, you're allowing your users to go ahead and send that out, but will not be able to mark that fully executed until all those requirements are met. It's really very flexible, up to you.
Great. And keeping on the sub sort of theme here, can subs submit their own invoices?
Yeah, I'll take that one. And so, yes, that we have a feature and an app called Team Player. Team Player allows our Flex users to manage their subcontractors and their subcontracts. What's great about this is Team Player ensures that when your subcontractors are submitting their own applications for payment, it tightly controls what they can submit and ensures that the progress that they claim falls within the scheduled value of each of their line items in their agreement. So it's a very tight system. It also gives them a heads up as to where they stand from a compliance perspective. Any lien waivers or any sub-tier lien waivers or claims, they have all that information inside their respective Team Player apps.
Yeah, and it's nice you mentioned lien waivers. I'm getting like flashbacks. You have a fully approved rec by the owner or the lender, whoever it is, and then you don't have lien waivers, and then you're hunting them down, whatever it is, 5-6 p.m. on Friday before the end of the month, and you're chasing those down. So it's good to know that they kind of need to hit those check boxes before they can kind of submit things. And then I'm kind of leading myself to the next question. Are there checklists and progress reports available on my phone?
Yes, they are. I can take that one. They are available. We made it so that it is super easy for your superintendents to fill those out in their mobile phones. And primarily, we do want those to come in from the field, and daily reports, they should come in from the field. So we made those very user-friendly on the mobile app.
Thank you. How can subs get access to their pending punch list items? I think that touched a little bit on the Team Player. Mike or Jennifer, if you want to see, you're kind of nodding your head there.
So actually, in this case, there's a few different ways with punch list items. And so one of them, of course, is the integration with FieldLens, right? If you want to manage punch list items through FieldLens, that's one way. You could have all of your subs collaborating through FieldLens on those punch list items. Through Flex alone, without the FieldLens integration, though, you have the ability to generate those requests for correction reports. So you can basically automatically, it will filter all of the punch list items for a particular sub, and you can send that to them to have them correct them. In addition to that, if they download our app, our Flex mobile app, they don't need a login. You don't have to set up a user for them. They simply have the app, and they could go onto the job site. And if you choose to, you can create QR codes for all of the locations on the job site. The punch list items are linked to those QR codes. Your subs can scan that code, and they can quickly see all the items that need to be corrected in that location. And from that app, they can take a photo, mark it corrected, and it automatically sends that to the PM to let them know that it was done so they can approve it.
That's great. So I just want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. Printed QR codes actually physically within your building. They can take out their phone, scan that. They have that list right there. Their crew's right behind them. They can kind of go through that area, work through that list, and finish out and kind of close out the job that way.
Exactly.
Sounds perfect. Great. I'm going to skip around a little bit. I see some questions that are coming in towards the bottom that look pretty good. What integrations with other apps, QuickBooks, any sort of CAD design, any, big integrations that you guys want to talk about specifically?
Yeah, we have a lot of integrations. I would actually say a great place to look at that is right on our website. You can go to our website on redteam.com. We have a integration section if you want to see the full list. But for example, QuickBooks was mentioned. So QuickBooks Online is one of our accounting integrations. We have several others, as well as other integrations with things like DocuSign to sign your documents and various things like that. Definitely, I would say, check out the website for more information there.
Thank you. That's perfect. Going back up to top, is there a limit to how many templates I can create?
No limit. I think Cynthia mentioned that one, in fact. So a few times we saw the area where you could do the correspondence. She mentioned, for example, the out of the box templates. We have like 48-hour notices, but there is no limit. You guys can have as many templates, as many types of documents as you want.
Yeah, that's great. And it's kind of nice, maybe right now you only have a couple different safety sort of checklists or a couple different templates, but as you grow, as whether it's codes, standards change, more sort of safety things come to the forefront, then you can add those. So that's growing with your business in that sense. Got a few more questions. to get through. Feel free to keep, send them in if you have anything that comes to mind. How do all the line items in a report carry over to the accounting system? Kind of specific one. I feel like this is, borderline touching on maybe integration or the accounting system within Flex.
It is a bit. So keep in mind that it really kind of depends on what accounting system you're using, right? So we have several integrations, in which case those line items will automatically post to your accounting system if you're using one of those accounting integrations that we offer. And again, you can check out that integrations page, right, for more details on which ones we have. But in those cases, those transactions post as soon as they're approved. For example, a vendor invoice upon approval is going to post to QuickBooks Online, ready for payment once all the requirements have been satisfied and so forth. If you're not using one of our integrations, we have several exports that let you be able to track what you have entered into your accounting system. So you could export, for instance, all your vendor invoices. And when we do that, we mark them posted as being entered into your accounting system, so you can still track it that way. So integration or not, you definitely will have a way to see that inside of Flex.
So for the benefit of our relatively large group of attendees today, we do have direct integrations with the top accounting systems. We did mention QuickBooks Online, but we also have integrations with Sage 100, Sage 300, Sage Intacct, and also Acumatica.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure that'll be helpful. I'm sure there's plenty of people in the audience that are using those currently. So definitely get to know those specific ones. Next question, how do you handle required documents that are specific to the job? The example they have is, a COI here.
Yeah, I think this one's kind of a duplicate question. We did sort of answer this, but just to cover it again, yes, you can create project-specific credentials is what we would call those. So if you're talking about a COI per job, that would just be what we'd call a project-specific credential. And yes, it's entirely possible to create.
And I see options for the waivers for the subs, but I don't know how they should be uploaded or restricted from payments.
This looks like a question coming in from an existing client. So definitely this is something our support team could help you with to kind of get that set up. If you're not currently using lien waivers, which sounds like you may not be, there's a little bit of setup that's needed, some configuration that might need to be done. So I would definitely recommend reach out to our support team there. They can absolutely guide you through that or get you in touch with somebody on our team who can help you get that all set up how you need it.
Yeah, great. And that also, kind of brings me to mention, we do have a great customer success team as well as support team here. So, if you have questions on ongoing projects, feel free to reach out to those resources. They'll definitely be able to get you squared away there. More questions about integrations like Adobe and ClickUp. Like we mentioned previously, worth going and checking out our website. I used Adobe for some markups. I'll say that the markups are great within our Red Team products. One of the things that I like to do, especially when walking the field, you see a specific picture. One of the nice parts about FieldLens specifically is you can use markups, you can put text, you can bubble, you can free write on your phone or on your tablet. And phones are kind of the way we're communicating nowadays, and tablets are becoming, almost 100% on every job site. So, if you want to know specifically about the integrations, I would say check out our website. And then if you want to learn more about markups, go ahead and try. They're definitely awesome. Definitely get your point across. A lot of great tools like the stamping feature that Jen talked about previously too. Is DocuSign the only way to get contracts signed?
So DocuSign is the way to get them electronically signed. Yes, you would have use that integration in order to get them electronically signed. However, DocuSign is not a required integration. You do not need to use it. You certainly can send those commitments out, contracts and things like that out and upload the signed copies. But DocuSign would be the only e-sign option.
Today.
Thank you, Jen.
Today, yeah.
That's all we have for questions right now. We're, just about to hit the hour. So I think this is about perfect timing. But once again, really appreciate everyone. We'll send out all this information. recording, slides, Q&A, everything that you guys need. And feel free to reach out if you have any other questions, but we look forward to seeing you next time. And thank you all once again. Really appreciate it.
Take care all.
Thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you.